So we're going to learn the basics of mini ramp skating, and mini ramps are generally about this size, 6 feet and under. No vert, less intimidating. You can learn the basics of pumping. Pumping is how you get speed going up and down the transition, and we're going to talk about foot placement, pushing, weight distribution, and we're joined by fellow pro Chris Markovich. So Chris, how do you usually put your feet on the board when you're skating mini ramps?
I usually start out by my front foot right on top of the lower 2 bolts of my front truck. A little bit at an angle, so you can have a little bit of control in turning the board.
Yeah.
And back foot directly over back 4 bolts. Perfect.
Yeah, I like to keep my back foot kind of behind the back 4 bolts, just so you can get ready to do tricks.
Yeah.
But probably if you're starting out, you might want to put them over the front bolts so that you don't endo into the wall either way.
Yeah, and definitely on your front, you want it a little bit back because you don't want it on the front, because when you go up into the wall, you endo forward as well.
Right, so sort of a happy medium there. And you want to start out by pushing from the opposite wall and pushing into the front wall, and then we'll talk about pumping. So once your feet are set up properly, you gotta learn how to pump. 3 keys to pumping. First, using your knees to pump through the transition. Second is timing. Time the pump through the transition to get the most speed possible. And shifting your weight. Shifting your weight as you come up to the top, shifting it on the way back down, get ready to come back down the ramp. So let's start. Start with your knees bent as you approach the wall and straighten your legs through the transition until they are fully extended and you have reached your apex. Bend your knees as you start to descend and shift your weight to your downward foot. Once again, straighten your legs as you pass through the curve of the transition and you will gain more speed. Staying centered over your board is the key to keeping your balance and maintaining your speed while skating transitions. Alright, so those are the basics of learning how to pump. You know, I used to know a guy that he would pump and he wouldn't look the other way when he was going, so he didn't really know when he was going to hit the wall. And I figured that it's easier if you actually look which way you're going. I don't know. Do you have any techniques you use?
Yeah, for me, I like to look both ways when I go. But I guess one thing I used to do is when I never could get the timing or anything right, so or to throw my weight, so I used to use my arms and like throw my arms up and then throw them back down. Throw them up, throw them back down. It looked pretty stupid doing it, but it worked out.
Well, I guess it could get used to the timing, though.
Yeah, it helps you out a lot.
You could learn to do it a little more subtle after that.
Yeah, you just tame it a little bit and then look both ways and you should be all right.
So I guess after that, you could learn how to do kick turns. We'll teach you how to get closer to the top and eventually drop in. So you're comfortable with riding up the ramp and coming back down backwards. Next thing you want to learn is how to kick turn. And a kick turn is basically a 180 on the ramp. The easiest way to learn it is backside towards your toes. Basically, you come up the ramp, turn 180 on your back wheels, come back down the ramp forward. And
let's do it on the flat ground first.
Yeah, we can show you doing the flat first, and then we'll take it up to the ramp. Start to turn your shoulders as you go up the wall and gently lift your front wheels when you get near your apex. Turn your lead shoulder in the direction you want to go and your lower body will follow. Keep your head turning in unison with the board. Don't look too far ahead of it. As you complete the turn, place your wheels back on the wall, lean forward and prepare to ride back down. Make sure not to put too much weight on your back foot as you turn to prevent doing a wheelie on the way back down the wall. If you feel comfortable with your backside kick turns, try doing them front side, but start off lower to get a feel for turning the other way because it's a whole different ball game. So the most common mistake with kick turns is to put too much weight on the back foot and in the process to do it when dropping in. Once you put your foot down, make sure your weight's on it, otherwise you're going to go like this. So make sure that your weight's on your front foot as you go down. we've got most of the basics of mini ramp skating here. One slightly advanced move is called a rock to fakie, and you can do it from a drop-in because you have plenty of speed going up the next wall. Basically, it's just rocking the bottom of your board on the coping and lifting it back up and bringing it back in. See Chris do one right here. As you reach the coping, lift your front foot and poke your board over the top until your front wheels touch the deck. Make sure to clear your front wheels over the coping when coming back in by lifting your front foot as you start to roll back. As you're rolling back, put your weight on your back foot, which is now your lead foot, and aim your shoulder over your front foot while bending your knee. Make sure not to bash your truck on the way back in. Although you can get away with it on mini ramps, it can be very dangerous on bigger ramps and you will lock up and fall to the bottom. Alright, we took you through the basics of skating mini ramps, how to push across the flat bottom, proper feet positioning, how to shift your weight back and forth as you go up and down the ramp. We learned how to do kick turns, and Chris showed us, thankfully, how not to do kick turns.
Yeah, don't do that one.
Exactly. We learned how to drop in to a mini ramp, and I showed you how not to drop in. Thank you. And if you're feeling confident with your skating, you might want to try rock to fakie. And from here on out, you can try some more advanced tricks, you know, get into grinds, 50-50s, ollies, blunts. But for now, just remember to practice your basics, get comfortable on the mini ramp, and you'll keep getting better.